Hello and welcome to my week 3 vlog. So we've got my Blackpot ready with some shaky questions. Like, once again, I'm not so confident in my questions work. I hope I'm being analytical enough. But it's hard to be analytical of performance work, of ensemble work. But you should still be. This isn't me. I've been rambling. Okay, so drama or acting. So we did Oresteia / Agamemnon. Agamemnon. That's just the way I know it. I studied it a while ago, and I, for some reason, always thought it was Agamemnon. I struggle with the name. Agamemnon. There we go. So I missed this lesson because I was at a session with my psychiatrist. But I did talk to and do a little bit of an interview with them. Now, this won't go up anywhere because Hannah specifically asked to not have it go anywhere, which is fair enough, but it's for my own use. So I asked what they did, and they did freeze frames with the basic themes and plot points of a story. So they started having a basic understanding of the story. So I read the script and I looked at the freeze frames and had her talk me through it. So I get it, he goes to war, he killed the daughter, went to war, came back, got killed, and then Clytemnestra got killed. Cool. It's very basic, but lots of anger and lots of violence, which I feel like is maybe a theme in Greek theatre. So obviously we started doing Greek theatre, which is funny because I mentioned that last week or the week before. But yeah, that explains why not only to bond as a company we've been working on ensemble so much, but because they want us to be a chorus. So we can, chorally speak, which is great. So we also did clowning. Now this was a lot. So this was real scary. I've literally written clowning, which sucked. So basically what we had to do was we found our clown, we walked around and stuff like that, finding our clowns and stuff, and going on this, I can't remember what the scale was called, but 1 was chill, gone on the floor, 5 is neutral, and then 10 is oh my god, there's a nuclear bomb, So different ranges of clowning and stuff like that. And then Rosie was like, now you found your clown, show us. And I was like, uh-huh. So she got us all to sit down as an audience and have a chair, and as your clown, interact with a chair. So the concept of that was terrifying because I really, really struggle with, looking silly and looking stupid, which is literally the point of clowning. But I'm proud. It was painful, the whole thing. It was quick and out of the way, one and done. But I am proud of myself for actually taking the risk, because I considered not doing it. I considered running out of the room. I was almost crying at one point. It was scary, but I did it. I went out and I did it, and that's so much better than me would have done last year, which is great because it shows growth I've had on this course in 3 weeks, which is great. It's good to see that this actually works for me. So yeah, we did our clowning. I ran in. I was like, well, what's me? And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm the personification of ADHD. My mum tells me off for saying this, but I think it's true. I think a lot of my personality is crazy and erratic. So I was like, why not go with that? So I ran in, sat on the chair, waved at everyone, was like, oh my god, I'm so happy to be here. And then skidded the chair, and then got up and ran and sat down, in the corner, and was like, oh, I'm done. But then Rosie was like, yeah, it's really good. I like how it was quick and erratic and stuff like that. But next time, do it. Maybe find those moments where you sit and talk to the audience for a little bit longer, which is fine. But she also didn't make me stand there for ages, which I really appreciated. Thanks, Rosie. Okay, so, then, so what's my question? It's not good. It was, how can I, it's about building confidence. I don't know if I want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to speak about what is it that stops me and how I can combat that. I'm changing my mind about the question because, I don't know, we can do whatever we want on our websites. So here I am. So, I think what stops me is, it's like a basic anxiety, a fear of looking stupid in front of everybody. And that's like, fair enough. I get where it comes from. I'm not saying it's bad. It's like not saying it's silly or unwarranted because like I've been laughed at before running for like leaving exams and stuff like that. I've been laughed at before trying to like get people to laugh and stuff like that. So it's a real genuine fear, but I think something that combats it is just having trust in these people that you're working with. Trust them not to judge you. Trust them to give you constructive criticism as opposed to just laughing at how badly you did. And I think with these group of people it could actually work. I could get to that point where I can just go up and do some clowning just cause, like clowning is not for me. I don't think I'm that much of a comedy actor, but I think it's still a fun area to learn in. So, what could I improve in, obviously, would be to do it without freaking out. To do it without trying to beg Rosie to not do it without, like, crying a little bit. Sure, it made my performance erratic, but, like, sometimes it added to the clown, but in any other circumstance, that might have ruined it. Like, running in and being crazy and stuff like that. Sometimes I gotta learn when to dial it back and not freak out. Which is hard, but I can do it, I think. So in dance, we added on to the same routines again, and what's hard to talk about with dance, because we just dance. We don't do anything. We just dance, and then we do like the curvy backy thing. The curvy backy thing. Wow. Okay. That's fine. But also, I think something I can talk about is how seems like almost Catherine's, I know it's to do with timetabling, but it seems like Catherine's made almost the deliberate idea to take us out of a room with mirrors, because we were originally in the dance studio and now we're in the theatre. So, I think it's interesting because we're not in a room with mirrors, like we can't see ourselves, so we can't feel how badly we're messing up. Or how stupid we feel, to an extent, which is interesting because after doing some research, now I didn't do these vlogs as I went, I chose to do them in half term, so I know that like I've looked into a dancer called Gaga, who Gaga technique is really about using your body and throwing your body into it and contorting and stuff like that. But also something he works with is without mirrors. He never has any of his dancers work in rooms with mirrors because he thinks it's about expression and like using your body and stuff like that. And it's I think I read somewhere that it can be used as a form of dance therapy, which it feels like not massively like Catherine is doing, but I can see why Catherine would choose to do something along those lines for a group of nervous performing arts students who don't really dance. We also filmed them, which was a little bit uncomfortable because you had like a phone from the side and half of the people were gone, so you felt a little exposed. But looking back at them now, I can see like my dancing's not as bad as I think it is. Like, and I've had like my friends look at it and they're like, "Yeah, that's fine, Keras, stop." So, in that, my question is, I keep saying, what can I do to be more confident? So I'm going to say, what have I done to be more confident in dance? Because evidently it's there, because I could dance on Phil and be a little bit silly as well. And I think what it is, I mean, definitely it's important to have those friends there that support you and laugh with you. Now, laughing with you and at yourself is, I think, what's important, is being able to be like, yeah, when I arch my back and flap around, I do look stupid, but you know what, it's really funny, and I'm having fun whilst doing it, and it's good for me, so that's what's important. And to improve it next time, I was being a little bit silly at the beginning of the video and dancing around and being stupid, so maybe next time try and have an air of professionalism about me and know when to rein myself in, because I am a lot and it can be used in places but not in some. Cool. So then we introduced narrative songs in singing. So, like I said, we heard from the other group that we'd be doing narrative songs. However, we didn't know we'd be doing solos. So I've specifically written doing solos, which is fine. It's fine. Like, I've sung in front of crowds before. At first, I chose the Schmool song from the last 5 years, because I like instantly was a narrative song, and I got really excited to do it. But the more I started to think about it, the more I thought there are some really big notes in there. And I know I should be taking risks and pushing myself, but I felt like pushing myself to sing in front of a group of people when I'm not confident in my voice. Like, I know I've just said singing in front of people is fine, but that's what it is. It's fine. And I wouldn't want to start belting on the first couple of weeks in. So, that being said, I realised I didn't take a risk, but also the thing about taking risks is they're so important and so amazing, but you also need to know when it's time to stop and when it's time to look after yourself and keep your headspace clear so you don't sabotage your own performance. So that being said, I've chosen to do Cecily Smith, which is a really nice, cute, simple narrative song. It's not too high. It's sung in a male thing, so I'll probably have to put it up. But it's not too hard to sing, and it's a really sweet story, and I think it will be nice and easy to tell. So that's singing. We also started working. We looked at some narrative songs as well to know what they were and like know different things. We started work strongly on diction. Once again with the tongue twisters. So I think if I have a look on my phone, maybe we had a new list. I don't think we did, but just in case. Wow, this is great. So started working on diction because now we know we're doing solo narrative songs. We know we need to know that we can, actually do them and have people understand what you're saying as opposed to not. Obviously. So I don't have a list of new tongue twisters, so I'm just going to do the same ones I did last time, which was Unique New York and Red Lorry Yellow Feather. And what's fun about Cecily Smith, it has a lot of thuds in it, so I really got to work on those because I struggled with them last time. Okay, so let's do some tongue twisters to show that work on diction we've been doing. All right, so Unique New York, Unique New York. Unique New York, Unique New York. Unique New York, Unique New York, Unique New York, Unique New York. Okay, so I don't think I messed up. Maybe one. So let's try it again and we'll try and do it like perfect. Okay, I believe in myself. Get all of those letters. Unique New York, Unique New York, Unique New York, Unique New York. Unique New York, Unique New York, Unique New York, Unique New York. I did it! Oh, I'm so proud of myself. Okay, that was the easy one. So let's go in with Red Lorry Yellow Feather. Alright. Red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather. Red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather. Okay, so I definitely missed out on a red and I messed up a th. So, let's do it again. I want to hear all those letters as much as we can. Work on diction, Karis. Okay. Red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather. Red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather, red lorry, yellow feather. That was better. Wow, I'm proud of myself. Look, see, rehearsal works. Okay, so that's some tongue twisters. Also, we found out we're gonna do our own warm-up. So I'm working on warm-ups with Emily. So working with filter, source, and power. So filter is your lips and your face. Source is, your voice and your... Wait, am I right about that? Yes. Obviously. Source is like your voice and your vocal folds, and then your power is like your chest and your stomach. So you've got the power to push it all out. So like doing different warm-ups in the different ones. So filter is lip trills is a good example. Source, sirening is a good example. And then power, which is the war cry thing, which gave the idea of, is a good example. So my question this week is, whilst I, you know, chose to not do the Schmall song, and miss out on, you know, doing stupid voices in front of the whole class, what push could I do to maybe do it next time? So, I think, obviously, a lot of these questions about gaining confidence, I'm noticing. Wow, I'm creative. I think what I need to do is have faith in myself and make sure I practice. If I want to do a silly song with a big note, then practice the note. Practice the voices and practice the diction until you're confident enough that it's funny. And I think maybe next time there's a solo or next time I'm feeling something, I might be able to go for something with a bigger note and, you know, that tests me a little bit more, because I think I should challenge myself. So, what could I improve on? Now, this week, in general, I could definitely improve on diction, because I struggle with my words a lot. Sometimes I stutter, and as we can see in my tongue twisters, I th and the wrong way around completely. So, I could work on that. Cool. So, creative communications now. We did Oresteia drawings. So, this was our own creative response to the story of Oresteia. And I thought, you know, my first thing was to round up, like, my thought in my head was to round up the themes in my head and think about what I wanted to do with that. So I thought I'd draw themes with corresponding colours. So murder was red, justice was orange, because I felt like it. Love, I didn't do like pink or anything. I thought love would be yellow in this, because I feel like love is what started all the fury, and yellow is the colour before red, which is murder. So yeah, love was yellow for me. I don't know why I explained that, but there we go. I did it because I liked it like clearly laid out in the grid system, and you could see it, and I thought it'd actually be helpful for my learning experience to, you know, get to know the play. What I want to talk about is I really struggled at first with creativity. Like, I've been talking about how much it's important to reclaim our creativity, but when we got given the task of just, oh yeah, do a creative response to Oresteia, you know, I really, like, I was like, oh, do I write a poem? Do I like make something? I don't know. So I just thought, like, took my time. I did take my time. I took 20 minutes of my time to plan it and figure it out. And everyone else was already drawing in bright colours. So I was like, okay, I want to do something with colour. And then if I want it clear and planned, then make it clear. Like, just because it's creative doesn't mean it has to be swirly and stuff like that. So it's good that I finally got involved at the end. My question for creative communications that I've given myself is, why are creative responses important? Now, I think creative responses are important because, you know, you've got your written responses, which are boring and wordy, but creative responses are digging down to, like, your, like, basic response to it. How you felt when you looked at it, read it, you know, how, like, stupid you think it is. You can talk about that. You can draw that, you know, and, like, deeper things, like why I made love yellow, and then you get passionate about it. You can talk, like, yeah, love's yellow because it starts rage, you know? It's interesting to see how each different mind works creatively, and how important it is to focus on that and take in those responses instead of squashing them down. So, in digital communications, we focused mainly on lighting. So we were showing, like, how to bounce the lighting off with paper, how to, like, light it, like looking into the lights we had, where we can position different lights from, like, below, from, like, around or in front to give different vibes. Like, below is, like, a little bit spooky, from one side looks a bit artsy, and you can put, like, patterns and textures on faces to make it look artsy and have an opinion behind it. Also, we worked with shadow, like I said, to create textures. So then we paired up and chose lighting for the other person and photographed it. What was fun about that is you had the lighting taken out of your control. You didn't get to be like, oh, I want to look pretty and cool. Emily was like, look up into the sun. And I was like, great, burn my eyes out. But also, you know, it takes control out of your hands when all you want to do is control your life, especially in, like, your picture and your portrait and stuff like that. So, my question that I gave myself for digital communications is, like, how can we stop micromanaging? So that is stupid, and it sounds like far away from what I said, but the micromanaging is wanting to have a control of everything in your life. I wanted to be like, move the camera there, move the camera up, move the camera down. So how can we stop it is by just relaxing, and that's so hard to say, I know, but like, just let something be out of your control, because like, those photos Emily took of me were damn good, and I looked good in them. So like, I think the money's in, I don't know what the phrase I had on my head was, but like, the proof is in the pudding. There you go. If you let yourself stop and make everything the same and chill out, you can get some really nice things out of it. Okay. So then in review and reflect, we did a general review of the last couple of weeks and lots of tips for our website, because we're all stressing out because we're like 3 weeks in and loads of people don't have anything on their websites. I know I was, stuff on our websites and like working and tips. So like I did record it on my phone, so I can listen to it just here, but we went through everything we did. We actually had some dance techniques. I have the picture of the board here so I can talk about it and talk about why it's helpful, because it is helpful, and then answer a question about it. Wow. I hope, you appreciate my rambling. I know I said I'd give myself questions to stop this, but here I am. Okay, so for acting, we talked about ensemble, flocking, slow motion, and stuff like that. Oh, we also have practitioners. Okay, so I'm going to do a separate video about practitioners, because I like practitioners and I can talk about them. Dance warm-up, floor to floor, corner and corner. Apparently this starts with doing a jazz, hip-hop, and contemporary, which I could have guessed. Contemporary, definitely. Singing, gospel, diction, narrative songs, evaluations. So qualities of ensemble, I've got that. How to improve performances. Now I've been doing that a lot with my thing, but this is because I'm doing this after this lesson, so I got these tips. So being evaluative and saying how we can make our performance better, which is important, obviously. Okay, so creative okay, I'm just reading everything and making sure I've got it. So I realise this is at 22 minutes long, and this question really isn't that important, so I'm just going to whiz through it as quick as possible, and that's going to be, wow. Sorry, I really don't like this. I don't like speeding myself. So the question is, on the board. Oh, I don't like it. Okay, so it's about why being evaluative of your performance is important. Now, this is not one I can speed through, but I suppose I can try. So being evaluative of your performance is important because you need to be reflective and you need to work on how you can improve it again and make it better as an ensemble. And also it's good to be self-critical, but also not too self-critical. If you evaluate it and you're positive about yourself, that can be good. I'm realizing now that I keep saying things I improve on, so maybe I should add to that, what did I do well? Be nice to myself. Okay, that was really quick actually. I'm proud of myself. Okay, bye. Woo.